Have you ever wondered why the guy who does everything for a girl, who showers her with constant attention and affection, often gets taken for granted or even rejected? Meanwhile, the guy who maintains his independence and doesn't chase seems to effortlessly attract respect and genuine interest. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. This is about understanding a fundamental truth that the ancient Stoics knew well, and it's a truth that can transform not just your relationships, but your entire approach to life. Today we're diving deep into why overloving behavior actually pushes people away, and how the timeless wisdom of Stoicism can help you become the kind of person who naturally commands respect and attracts healthy relationships. By the end of this video, you'll understand why desperation repels while self-respect attracts, and you'll have practical Stoic principles you can apply immediately. But first, let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus was the kind of guy who would drop everything for his girlfriend, Sarah. If she called at midnight because she was sad, he'd drive across town to comfort her. He'd constantly text her throughout the day, buy her expensive gifts, and rearrange his entire schedule around her needs. He thought he was being the perfect boyfriend. He thought this was what love looked like. But Sarah grew distant. She started taking longer to reply to his messages. She seemed less interested in spending time with him. Eventually, she told him she needed space, and shortly after, she was dating someone else, someone who seemed to care less, who had his own life, his own goals, and who didn't revolve his entire existence around her. Marcus was devastated and confused. How could someone who loved less win over someone who loved more? This is where most people get it wrong. They think the problem is with women, that they don't appreciate good guys. But the real issue runs much deeper, and it's something the Stoic philosophers understood over 2,000 years ago. The Stoics taught us that respect is not earned through desperation or neediness, but through strength of character, self-discipline, and inner peace. When you overlove someone, you're not actually showing strength, you're showing weakness. You're demonstrating that your happiness and self-worth depend entirely on another person's approval and presence. Think about it from a psychological perspective. When someone gives you their complete attention and validation without you having to earn it, what happens? You start to take it for granted. It's basic human psychology. We value what we have to work for, and we lose respect for what comes too easily. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that we should not be disturbed by what others think of us, because we cannot control their thoughts or feelings. Yet the overloving person does exactly the opposite. They make their entire emotional state dependent on someone else's reactions and approval. Let's break down why this behavior is so destructive. First, overloving creates an imbalance of power in the relationship. When you're constantly giving without receiving, when you're always available, always accommodating, you're essentially telling the other person that their time and attention are more valuable than yours. You're positioning yourself as the pursuer, the one with less value, the one who needs to prove their worth. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that we should approach all relationships from a position of abundance, not scarcity. When you overlove, you're operating from scarcity. You're acting as if this person is your only chance at happiness, your only source of love and validation. This desperation is deeply unattractive because it signals low self-worth and emotional instability. But here's what's really happening on a deeper level. Overloving isn't actually about love at all. It's about fear. It's about the fear of abandonment, the fear of being alone, the fear that you're not good enough on your own. Real love, as the Stoics understood it, comes from a place of strength and choice, not weakness and desperation. Epictetus, who was born a slave but became one of the most respected philosophers of his time, taught that we should focus only on what we can control, You cannot control whether someone loves you back, whether they appreciate your efforts, or whether they choose to stay with you. But you can control your own actions, your own character, and your own response to their choices. When you overlove, you're trying to control the uncontrollable. You're trying to force someone to feel a certain way about you through sheer volume of attention and affection. But emotions can't be bought or bargained for. Respect can't be earned through desperation. Attraction can't be created through neediness. The Stoics had a concept called preferred indifference. These are things that are generally good to have, like health, wealth, or loving relationships, but they're not essential for your happiness or self-worth. The over-loving person makes the mistake of treating another person's love as if it's absolutely necessary for their well-being, rather than something that would be nice to have, but isn't required for their happiness. This is why the guy who has his own life, his own goals, and his own sense of purpose is more attractive. He's not looking for someone to complete him because he's already complete. He's not seeking validation because he validates himself. He's not afraid of being alone because he enjoys his own company and has built a life he's proud of. Now let's talk about what healthy love actually looks like through a Stoic lens. Healthy love is unconditional positive regard combined with healthy boundaries. It's caring deeply about someone while maintaining your own identity and self-respect. It's being willing to walk away if the relationship becomes toxic or one-sided. The Stoic concept of love is beautifully illustrated in Marcus Aurelius's relationship with his wife Faustina. Despite rumors and challenges, he maintained his dignity and composure. He loved her not from a place of neediness, but from a place of choice and strength. He knew that his happiness didn't depend on her behavior, but on his own character and actions. This is what modern psychology calls secure attachment. Secure individuals are comfortable with intimacy and independence. They don't lose themselves in relationships, and they don't use relationships to fill a void in their self-worth. They love from abundance, not scarcity. So how do you develop this kind of secure, stoic approach to relationships? First, you must cultivate self-respect. You cannot expect others to respect you if you don't respect yourself. This means having standards, having boundaries, and being willing to enforce them even when it's difficult. Self-respect means not dropping everything for someone who wouldn't do the same for you. It means not accepting disrespectful behavior just because you're afraid of being alone. It means valuing your own time, energy, and emotional well-being as much as you value theirs. Second, you must develop your own life and identity outside of any relationship. The Stoics emphasized the importance of having a clear sense of purpose and meaning in life. When your entire identity revolves around someone else, you become boring and predictable. You have nothing interesting to offer because you've neglected your own growth and development. Invest in your hobbies, your career, your friendships, your health, and your personal development. Become someone who would be interesting to spend time with, someone who has stories to tell and wisdom to share. This isn't about playing hard to get or being manipulative. This is about becoming a complete person who doesn't need anyone else to feel fulfilled. Third, practice emotional self-regulation. The Stoics were masters of emotional control, not because they suppressed their feelings, but because they understood that emotions are temporary and that they don't have to control our actions. When you overlove, you're being controlled by your emotions. You're reacting to every slight, every delayed text message, every moment of uncertainty. Learn to sit with uncomfortable emotions without immediately acting on them. Learn to give people space without panicking about what it means. Learn to maintain your composure even when you're feeling insecure or anxious. This emotional stability is incredibly attractive because it signals maturity and self-control. Fourth, Practice gratitude without attachment. The Stoics taught that we should be grateful for what we have while we have it, but also prepared to let it go if necessary. In relationships, this means appreciating your partner without clinging to them. It means being thankful for their presence in your life without making them responsible for your happiness. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means loving fully while holding lightly. It means being present and engaged while maintaining your independence and self-respect. It means being willing to fight for the relationship when it's worth fighting for, but also being willing to walk away when it's not. Let me share another story. David used to be an overlover. He would constantly text his girlfriends, always be available, and put their needs above his own. His relationships always followed the same pattern: initial interest, then taking for granted, then eventual breakup. He couldn't understand why his kindness and devotion weren't appreciated. Then David discovered Stoicism. He started reading Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. He began to understand that his behavior wasn't coming from a place of love, but from a place of fear and insecurity. He realized that he was trying to earn love through desperation rather than attracting it through strength. David started focusing on himself. He developed new hobbies, advanced in his career, and built a circle of friends who respected and valued him. He learned to enjoy his own company and to find meaning and purpose outside of romantic relationships. He practiced emotional self-regulation and developed genuine self-confidence. When David met Lisa, he approached the relationship differently. He was interested and engaged, but he didn't drop everything for her. He maintained his own life and identity. He was kind and caring, but he also had boundaries and standards. He didn't constantly text her or seek her validation. The result? Lisa was drawn to his confidence and independence. She respected him because he respected himself. She valued his attention because it wasn't given freely to everyone. She was attracted to his stability and emotional maturity. Their relationship was balanced and healthy because both people were choosing to be there, not clinging out of fear. This is the power of Stoic principles in action. When you stop overloving and start self-respecting, you naturally become more attractive. Not because you're playing games or being manipulative, but because you're displaying the qualities that indicate emotional maturity and relationship readiness. Remember, attraction is not about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about being genuine, confident, and emotionally stable. It's about having your own life and identity while being open to sharing it with someone else. It's about loving from abundance rather than scarcity. The ancient Stoics understood something that many modern people have forgotten, that the key to healthy relationships is not finding someone to complete you, but becoming complete yourself, and then choosing to share your completeness with someone else. So if you've been wondering why your overloving behavior isn't working, now you know. It's not because you're not good enough or because you're not trying hard enough. It's because you're approaching relationships from the wrong mindset. You're trying to earn love through desperation instead of attracting it through strength. The good news is that this is completely fixable. You can learn to love from a place of abundance. You can develop the self-respect and emotional stability that naturally attract healthy relationships. You can become the kind of person who commands respect, not through manipulation or games, but through genuine strength of character. Start today. Begin reading Stoic philosophy. Start developing your own life and interests. Practice emotional self-regulation. Set boundaries and maintain your standards. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not on trying to earn someone else's love. Remember, you don't need anyone else's approval to be worthy of love and respect. You are enough, exactly as you are, and the right person will recognize and appreciate that. But first, you must recognize and appreciate it yourself. If this video has helped you understand why overloving pushes people away, and how Stoic principles can transform your relationships, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content on personal development and ancient wisdom. Share this with someone who needs to hear this message, and let me know in the comments how you plan to apply these Stoic principles in your own life. Your journey to becoming a more confident, self-respecting person starts now.